Today I am continuing with my home theater installation, and I need to add some ends to a COAX Rg6 cable. So I bought this tool, want to show you guys how to use it. So this is the home theater room, and I have two places where I have coax run for my subwoofer, and that is what I'm gonna need to put some ends on. So actually right here is the Rg6. What I'm gonna have to do is cut it, put a T connector on it, because one side is going to continue the run over to that other corner where I'm going to have a second sub. Now, if the guys that pre-wired this would have been nice, they would have had two separate runs over there, but either way, we're going to need to put an end on it. So this kit from Klein actually includes 6 connectors, the F-type Rg6. And after doing some research, you want to get the compression type, not the crimping type, although most videos just use those two terms interchangeably. This is a compression type connector. This little fitting right here where my finger is actually what gets compressed down, and that's what creates the connection on a compression fitting. The Crimp Style is kind of like a typical low budget wiring stuff where it actually gets crimped or compressed inward like this, and the outer jacket just gets squashed onto the wire. So this is considered the better kind of connector. And as the package states, it can be used on Rg59 or Rg6, and this is Rg6. So somewhere on your wire will be printed what exactly it is, and this one says Rg6 right here, so you can tell. And this is the F-type connector. Now, I had to do some research because I didn't know the difference between Rg6 and Rg59 until now, but the Rg6 actually has a thicker piece of copper wire inside it, and it is better for high frequency, high bandwidth applications like cable TV, satellite, internet, etc. Whereas the Rg59 has a thinner cable in it, which is better suited for low bandwidth, low frequency things such as analog video or CCTV. Now this tool set comes with 0 instructions, and we're gonna start with this thing, which actually strips and prepares the wire. Inside are 2 blades, and one blade cuts deeper to cut around the copper wire, and the other blade is a more shallow cut that cuts some of the insulation off. So I assume with this tiny little diagram on here that you can barely see that shows the wire is that you're supposed to put it in from the left into the right in this orientation. And I've never used this thing, so you're gonna see how it works as I do. So I pulled this out. This is all of the wire that was pre-wired for me. So I am just gonna cut this with some wire cutters right in half, and we'll be able to see the white inner plastic insulation around here. So like I said, we're just gonna press this down. I'm gonna stick this through. It's gonna come out the other side. I'm gonna let it stick out a little bit, and you're supposed to go around like 4 times one direction, come back 3 or 4 times, and you can slip it right off. Look at that. And once your wire is cut, you can press this and get your little pieces to fall out. So here you can see this was the deep cut where it cut off all of the shielding, and this piece that came out was the shallow cut from the other blade that just took off the black casing on the inside. A beautiful cut for us. So our copper wire is sticking out here, and there is always going to be this metal insulation around it, this little wire, and you're just going to want to push it back with your fingers, push it back over the black outer wire, and you want to get all of it off. So there are a couple different types of Rg6. Apparently there's dual shielded, which is just gonna have the white inner thing and then this shielding on top that we're peeling back, or you have quad shielded. So apparently I have the better quad shielded. Now you'll know if you have that if the white plastic is covered in foil, and that is the case here. So for the quad shielded stuff, you're gonna wanna take a box cutter or something like that, and you're gonna wanna cut around on the very inside edge. I'm gonna cut around the foil because we need to remove the foil. So nobody really explained very well in the videos that I saw that the reason you're peeling all of this stuff back and cutting the stuff off is because you do not want it to come in contact with your copper wire here, because this metal insulation is touching this. You're going to get a lot of interference, and it's not going to work very well. And they also make it look like cutting this foil is really easy. Okay, there we go. It's coming off finally. It's cool, my foil is blue on the inside. All right, so the next step is we're gonna be putting the connector on, but a lot of people don't really explain very well is this white inner plastic shielding is what you use to line up with this. And you can see here, you have the outer surface, which my finger is flush with now. And then inside you have a little inner thing, so you can see the thing that's shiny right now is what I'm gonna call the inner circle in there, which comes to about right here. And this white is supposed to be flush with it. So when you put this in here, you're gonna have to press pretty hard, supposedly. Well, so when you put this on, obviously the little copper is going to come through the hole, and then you're going to keep pressing until that white is all the way up against and flush with that inner part. And depending on your application is the type of F connector you're going to use. They have some that are rated for outdoor use. If it's going to get wet, I guess it's a tighter connection, harder to push on, but this was pretty easy. And a lot of videos accidentally or interchangeably use the compression tool with the crimping tool. This is a compression tool because this is a compression fitting. So instead of, a crimping tool is going to look like this. You're going to squeeze it in this direction, and it's going to squeeze this part right here. Like I said before, a compression tool is going to look like this, and when you squeeze the handle down, it pushes in the horizontal direction here. So to use it, all you do is stick your end into here, and the bottom is held into place down here once it's all the way inserted in the tool. So when you squeeze the handle, it is going to compress this fitting, and you can see it go in right there. And you're gonna squeeze the handle all the way together and then open it. And there you go. Now you can pull and it's not gonna come off. So a great compression fit, and your copper wire should be coming out about 1/4 of an inch. This one's a tiny bit long. If it is too long, you can just use a tool like this. Snip it off to whatever length you want, and you have your connector. All right, now after having done this, the other videos also make it sound like you have a choice of going too far, but no, you push it all the way up until the white is against there. It can't go too far. The white cannot fit through that hole, at least on my connectors. So for my particular situation, I'm going to have the wire that comes in from the home run of this come in here. Then I'm going to take this wire, feed it through here so it can continue to my second location for my subwoofer. And I'm going to take just a tiny piece of coax and run that one to the back of this plate. So after having done a couple of these now, instead of cutting around the base of the foil and trying to remove it, I just cut one slit straight up the foil. And you can kind of see the delineation right here. On the right, I've started to peel back the foil from that slit, and I'll just continue peeling it back. Just with a nail, you can kind of get the foil and just peel it all the way down, all the way around. All right, so here you can really see the difference side by side of the one that has been compressed on and the new one. So you can see that little compression zone right there and what it's gonna look like after it is connected correctly. So this is my final setup. I traced that this is the side that is coming in from my source using this other cool little Klein tool to send a tone through the wire, and then I could use this other end remotely to detect the tone. And this is going out to my other sub on the other wall, and this one will connect to the back of this plate for the sub right here. So that's it. After our connection is made, I got these little things. They're called keystones that snap into an empty wall plate. And this one takes Rg6 on the inside and converts it to RCA on the outside. Just screwed the Rg6 in and it tells you which side is up. So here's a plate that accepts one keystone. So you just slide the keystone in from behind and press it all the way in and it'll snap into place. There we go, it's nice and flush, and use the 2 screws to attach it. Now I have my amp connected over there and the second one over here. So a little sneak peek. The next project, I will be building a DIY screen that's gonna go right here. Fill up where these blue dots are. So subscribe, stick around for that one, and I'll see you next time.